and welcome to another episode of Ask Jameen. I am Nicci Willis and
I'm Jameen.
And today, y'all, we are going back to school. That's right, we are going to talk about one of the most common questions that we get. Should I wait or should I buy now? Let me do that again. Or should I buy now or should I wait?
Now later.
Now later.
Remember that candy?
Oh yeah, I
Now
do. I do. That is the question, folks. All right, here we go. Now, before we get started, I have to remind you to make sure that you like and subscribe to this channel. That's right, it's right down there, right below. Hit that button and hit that little bell down there to make sure that you get notifications every time we upload some new content. Thank you so much for joining us, first of all, and now we are going to get started. So, babe, we get the question a lot, or more, it's more of a comment. And then they kind of look at you with the question mark face. It's like, or maybe should I buy now? Or maybe I should wait. And then they go like this. Because they really want to know. And maybe you've been one of those people that asks us this question. And it's a fair question. I mean, hey, prices have been going up like crazy. July numbers just came in last week. And we peaked at $405 for a 3-bedroom single family home. So y'all, it's real out here. We know it. But more than give you our opinion, we want to scale it all back. We want to bring it all back. And let's talk about the numbers. So we're going to bring some numbers here for you. So it's not opinion driven. It's not about what we think. It's really about if the numbers go a certain way, this can happen. So let's do that. All right, babe, I'll let you take it away.
All right, so we want to talk about a couple different scenarios. So people want to know, or they're saying, oh, I'm going to wait because the prices may drop and the bottom's going to fall out and I can get a deal and all this good stuff.
Yeah.
Or if things continue. So I got like about three different scenarios to kind of go over. So let's go over what's currently going on right now. So the benefit of, let's say, buying now versus buying later is, the first thing is, if you're buying now, right now, you know what the rates are.
Right.
It's not a guessing game. You know, rates may go up in the future, they may go down in the future, but right now, you know exactly what the rates are.
Yeah.
The second thing is, like you just said, we know what the current prices are. So the benefit of buying right now is you know what the rate is you're going to get, and you know what the pricing, I mean, you don't know what you're going to get when you offer and put in a contract, but you pretty much know how much a 3-bedroom, 2-4-bath house costs in your part of your town or whatever.
Yes.
So the benefit of buying right now is the rates, you know what they are, and you know what the pricing is right now. So we do have notes in the background for all you, what do you call it? People who like to dot I's and cross T's.
Yeah, or you visual learners.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, so we're going to shrink us now. Okay, so now we're shrunk.
Okay, I don't know what that means. So let's give a nice, easy round number. So let's say a $300,000 house. So $300,000 purchase price. Pretty much the lowest down payment, well, not the lowest down payment, but pretty much the lowest down payment that you can get right now is 3.5% down payment. So that's an FHA loan, 3.5% down, right? So right now, rates are right at around 3% for FHA, right around 3%. So at $300,000, that's purchase price, interest rate is 3%. So at 3%, you're looking at $1,220. So that's $1,220. That's principal and interest. So at $300,000 right now, if you bought a house for $300,000 at today's rates, you would be at $1,220 for a mortgage payment. So you know exactly what that is right now. So let's say the people who say, oh, I'm going to wait until next year and then I'm going to buy a house. So there's two things that can happen. Well, there's a lot of things that can happen, but let's say worst case scenario, interest rates go up and prices go up. But let's just focus on one right now. So right now we're gonna focus on this scenario. The prices stay the same,
okay,
300,000, and the interest rates go up just 1%.
okay.
So from 3% to 4%, interest rates go up 1%. So just a 1% increase, which would be same price, 300,000. That price now goes to 1382. So instead of 1220, you're now at 1382. So for all the number crunch people out there, that's $161 difference. So it's $161 higher per month, just at a 1% increase. Yeah. Now rates could go higher. They could go 4.5%. They could jump all the way up to 6%. But just at 1%, you had $161 higher per month. And that's just per month. Now, when you amortize that over 30 years, you're paying more monthly and you're paying more interest and you're paying way more for the total price of the home.
Yes.
And people don't always look at that sheet. They look at, I bought it for $300,000.
Correct.
But in 30 years, no, you actually paid about $460 something, $1,000 when you include the interest.
Yes.
So that's a big difference. You know, just 1%, that's a big difference. That alone should say, maybe I should consider, buying right now. So that's a real deal. That's what happens. A lot of people wait, and then they end up paying a higher interest rate, which makes them pay a higher mortgage rate. Right.
And I know we've been talking, saying making sure that you're on the right side of the rate. That's what we mean when we're saying, if you are able to buy, it's good that you're on the right side of the rate. Because again, we don't know what's going to happen. Economists and both political sides are talking about, in order for this market to change, the rate will change first. We don't know if that's going to happen or not. But again, that's why we're doing this. That's why we're in class, because if it does happen, you now see what could happen to your mortgage payment per month. So that's just one of the scenarios that could happen. And that's just if prices stayed the same and the interest rate went up 1%. So now let's look at price changes. Okay. So let's say the rate stays at 4%. What would happen if there was, let's say, a decrease in prices? What would happen if that $300,000 house went down $20,000 and now it's $280,000? And someone says, "Oh my gosh, that's a good deal." So what would $280,000 look like? 3% down payment with a 4% interest rate.
So here's the big thing. Even if prices went down, which they probably won't. But even if they do, let's say everybody who was waiting is absolutely right.
Let's say
the house you want to buy goes from being $300,000 to $280,000 with a $20,000 increase at the same interest rate. Is still higher than if you would have bought right now. So right now, if you bought at a 3%, $300,000, your mortgage would be $1,220.
Right.
If you waited and prices went down, but rates was at 4%, you would be at $1,289. So which is higher than right now.
Yeah.
So even if prices went down $20,000, they plummeted.
But that rate.
The rate, even with the rate went up, you're still paying more than you would pay if you bought a house right now. Yeah. So that's kind of like the biggest thing people need to look at is that if you wait till prices go down, even if prices go down like you think they may be, or you're betting on or hoping on, because of the rate, you're gonna be paying more, still paying more. You know what I mean? Than if you were paying right now, than if you bought right now. So that's the benefit of buying now versus buying later.
And I think we need to talk about and put in perspective, with the whole pandemic. We know the pandemic put some things the government had to put some things into place to keep the economy running. So we are at a nice, comfortable, low rate, because if that rate was any higher, sales would slow down. And right now we're in a seller's market. So if at any time really that they wanted to turn off the seller's market, again, they're not going to drop prices. They're going to look at the rate first.
And the government doesn't drop prices. They control rates.
Control the rate. They control the rate. So again, y'all pay attention to the interest rates right now. Again, right now they're at about 3%. And we're just looking at if they changed it and they went up just 1%. Just one.
This is just 1%.
This is just 1%.
And rates, not only can rates go up, but prices will most likely, like we've seen all year, actually longer than a year, prices have gone up. So we just gave you a clear example, but actually when you gave you the 320 example, prices actually went up higher than 320 from 300.
They did.
So what could happen is, this is the last scenario. So we had worst case scenario, not worst case scenario.
Just if the rate.
We had the same, and then if the rate. So the last scenario is rates go up and prices go up. So if rates go up and prices go up, you're now looking from $1,220 to $1,474 for a mortgage payment. If prices go from $300 to $320 and rates go from 3 to 4, you're now looking at $1,474 for a mortgage payment versus $1,220. So that's even more money.
Yeah.
So that's the way things have been going now.
Yeah.
That's the way it's looking. How it's going to go in the near future. So,
and that's what. And so, if you look at it from a supply and demand perspective, okay. So, like we said, right now, it's a seller's market. There are not enough houses for all the buyers that want to buy right now, and that's why we're in multiple offers. That's why we've seen the prices go up the way they've gone up. And so if you think about it, as prices have gone up, it still really hasn't slowed people down too much. But then those who are borrowers, and we have to emphasize those who are borrowers, and you are borrowing to purchase your home, the rate is going to affect you. And it's going to essentially move the goalpost a little bit further out. So because if you were able to, let's say you were able to afford a $300,000 home at this 3% rate for our imagination here, that goalpost gets moved if that interest rate goes up. If that interest rate goes up.
Let me make sure everybody get that. So let's just put it in a different way. Let's say you make $60,000 a year, and at $60,000 a year, at 3% interest rate, you can buy a $300,000 house. Yeah. But if rates go up to 4%, you no longer can buy a $300,000 house. Yeah. You can buy a $250,000, and a $250,000 house may not be what you want, what you desire, or what you need.
Very true.
So you could get priced out of buying a house, period. Yeah. Or buying a house that you want by waiting and not buying now versus buying where you know exactly what the mortgage payment is and what you can get. So that's actually best case scenario, that you can buy less. Sometimes it prices you out of being able to buy a house, period. Yeah. Yeah. Especially for first time home buyers. Yes. And if you make, not, 6 figures, it makes a big difference.
It does. Yeah. And so as you can see, if they wanted to change the supply and demand at any time, hitting that interest rate would take more buyers out of the game, thus adjusting that supply and demand and kind of evening it out. Yeah. Hope that makes sense for you. Man, this sounds so doomy and gloomy, babe.
No, it just sounds like people.
But it's reality.
It's a cliche. You think, because it's a realtor telling you, or it's a salesperson telling you that the best time to buy a house is now. My thing is, I think like the everyday home buyer. I think that the best time to buy a house is right now because you're betting on what you know.
Yeah.
Why would I bet on what I
Facts.
don't know versus betting on what I know?
The facts, yeah.
You know, and so if you can buy a house right now, the best time for you to buy a house is now. If you can't buy a house, it's easy. No, it's not time for you to buy a house.
Right.
So here's what we want to make glaringly clear to you. It's highly, 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 highly improbable, almost impossible, that rates will decrease and prices will decrease. Yeah. It's almost impossible that those two things are going to happen in the near future. Here's why. As long as I've been in real estate, as long as I know, I haven't researched everything, rates have never been, not on a mortgage, 1%. We've never seen a 1% mortgage interest rate. That's almost basically just giving away money, not charging interest. So rates can't go much lower than they've been when 2009, when the pandemic happened. You was getting 2.75 or something like that.
Yeah, in the housing market.
Yeah, they're only going to go so low on interest rates. So it's highly unlikely that rates will decrease and prices will just plummet. It's almost impossible for that to happen. Not like impossible because that the pandemic is not like that. Just because of supply and demand and just how things work in the economy, is highly unlikely that rates will go down and prices will go down all at the same time. Yeah.
So feel free to rewind this one. Go back, look at those numbers again. And this could have felt like a doomy and gloomy type of episode. And so what I want you to do is look at another episode that we talked about where we talked about needs versus wants. Because if you can buy, we want to get you on the right side of the rate. It's best if you own on the right side of the rate. There's so many more opportunities that you have as a landowner, a homeowner, right? So I'm gonna put that video, the link to that video below in the description. Because we want you to check that out for sure. And make sure you check out all of our other videos. We got a full Ask Jameen playlist, and you can go back, honey. You can see all the ones that we started out with our iPhone 7. We have upgraded since then, and we're still upgrading. So yeah, you can see our humble beginnings. But it's still very relevant information. We share these videos with a lot of our clients because it's very relevant information. We do our research. We love our numbers. We don't believe in opinions. We believe in facts and data. And that's what
we can give our opinion too.
Well, yeah, we give our opinion, but it's based on facts and data. We're not just gonna give you some, willy-nilly opinion. But yeah, we do our research, and whoever you're working with, whatever real estate agent you're working with, make sure they know their facts, make sure they know their data. That's so important. But thank you so much for joining us again. Go ahead and rewind this one if you need to. Just rewind it. We got all the numbers. Grab your calculator, kind of figure out those numbers a little bit. Maybe you started out earlier this year thinking you were going to buy, and you're one of those people that said, you know what? I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait. And then you gave me the look. That one. It's all good. If you are thinking about buying, go ahead and hit us up. thewillisteamlv.com. We'd love to help you. And let's get you on the right side of that rate. Now, before we leave, make sure you hit that subscribe button. That's right. It's right down there. And hit the bell right next to it. Make sure you do that too. Subscribe. Make sure you are getting all of our content. And we will see you next time.